What's going on, guys? So I kind of want to do a little trade recap. I actually took two trades to the long side on Tesla. Now, still trades to the long side. I'm having, an issue with confidence in the continuation with the follow through on the long side. That's just due to the fact that we're in a bear market. We're underneath a lot of macro levels of supply. We're definitely going to get days like this where the market does bounce and then sort of chop around a little bit. It's going to make trading opportunities a little bit more tough to spot just due to the fact that you might get a big run up off the open and then it kind of just goes sideways for a few hours. So you kind of need to have a strategy and kind of pick your spots. It also means, don't expect something to follow through all day, right? Even if it does, don't expect that to happen. Meaning, if you get into a long trade, doesn't mean that if you get in off the first hour or first 2 hours of the market that you're going to be sitting in that same position at the end of the day. Just kind of go in with the mentality where you're going to find a good setup, you're going to have a good stop loss that you're going to respect, and you're going to follow your game plan and kind of take your profits. So let's kind of go over what I was looking at here on Tesla. Tesla's having a decent day, up almost 5% on the day. So, what I've been doing a lot recently is kind of sitting out the first 30 minutes of the market just due to the fact that there's a lot of volatility, big moves up, big moves down, and then, sometimes they don't always follow through after that, and it's a little bit of a trap off the open. So, what I was looking at here on Tesla, immediately out of the gates, we just shoot up right from the word go from a price of around breaking 624.56 all the way to highs of around 641, right? So 624 all the way up to 641. Then we kind of consolidate here for about 10 minutes and then we pull back around 6:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I noticed that we do still hold the 20 SMA. We kind of find some support and start to trickle back upwards. So immediately what I do is if we kind of look at the hourly chart here, this is what I like to do off the open. I like to mark out these first 30-minute highs here, which is the first hour candle. And then if the market's going to be stronger, if there's going to be some sort of continued action, I like to take that scalp through those opening range highs. Now, what I also have marked out here, we can see the opening hours candles lows is pretty close and correlated with the pre-market lows. So I went ahead and drew my price line down here at 617.50, which is the pre-market lows here. Also underneath these first hour lows as well. So if we do go back to the 5-minute time frame here and kind of show you guys what I was looking at, as soon as we got this break here at 7 o'clock, I jumped in right off of this candle here. Now, here's where having a strategy and a good trading plan and understanding how much risk you have on the table and, kind of being okay with losing some of that risk. Because immediately after I jumped into this Tesla long trade, it started to pull back. And it pulled back very, very aggressively from 641 all the way down to a price of 634. So that is about a 6.5 point move to the downside. Now, immediately within a minute, I'm in drawdown, right? So one thing that I kind of want to explain to you is I understand how much money I laid on the line with my premiums. I was okay that if this did continue to break down and continue to come down here towards the 20 and lose this area, I was going to have to eat that big loss. Now, what we also need to understand is that, right now, ranges and volatility is super expanded. So, you have to understand that, sometimes when you do take a loss, it's going to be a little bit bigger than if we were in a normal trading environment where volatility wasn't so high and some of these ranges weren't so wide. With that being said, I knew that once we pulled back here, but we never lost the previous candle's low, and we are still over the 20, I was pretty confident that, I was going to continue to stay in the trade. Now, if I wanted to give myself, an extreme max pain, I was going to use the 20 period moving average as my stop. But more than likely, if this was going to pull back past the previous candle here, which is my entry candle, so if my entry candle is here, the next candle starts immediately coming down. If we were to close underneath my entry candle, I probably would have cut this trade even though we were still over the 20. That's just due to the fact that I was playing multiple contracts of Tesla and I didn't really feel like going into drawdown, another 10 points here just to get stopped out. Again, based on my strategy, definitely I'm going to be following the 20 period moving average. Obviously, it's inclining. So as long as it's inclining and as long as we're trading above it, I'm pretty confident in holding that trade. The next 5-minute candle does break through this, so it puts me back in the green here. We do have a little pause candle. One thing that I was looking at here is the break of 641 that I was watching, my initial candle. We came back and we tested that level perfectly. So when I seen us hold this level for 5-10 minutes and then shoot up, I immediately took profits on the new high here. Now, I wish I was sitting in this trade, all the way until the top, but that's just the name of the game. I'm never looking to catch the whole move. I just want to get in at a good area of opportunity based on a technical reason. And then when I do get profitable, I do want to sell. So that first trade, I ended up taking about $787. What I was continuing to do is after I sold out here, I watched us put in a new high. And after we put in that new high, I noticed a little bit of a pullback. So once we started to pull back and I seen that, buyers stepped in and we started to push this price action back higher, I noticed that we're still holding this 20 SMA as well as the breakout area. So all this was just a break, retest, break, and double retest. So I understood that, as long as we didn't re-break that 641 and lose the 20 period moving average, if we were able to take out the day's highs, I was going to get in this trade again. Now, the second trade was my bigger trade. I did take $660 strikes. So, if we kind of look at where that price was putting at once we, after we pulled back and once we broke that price again, it was 650. So I did go a tad out of the money. Options contract premiums were a little bit expensive and I wanted to do multiple contracts. So I wanted to squeeze in another contract or two there. And I didn't want to take something that was in the money. So I just went right outside the money, about 10 points, but figured, on the hourly time frame, it looked like Tesla had room to run if this thing was going to run. It was also correlating with, holding the original 30-minute high breakout, also holding the 20 SMA. On this candle here at 755, on this break of new high of day, I ended up getting long here and I did ride this for a pretty penny here. So I was able to make $1,400 on this trade and I sold on this candle here at 810. Obviously not at the top, but as soon as we broke these two highs, right? So what I was looking at here was I knew that I had those 660 calls, right? So if I'm looking at the top wick here, $659 was the current high of day on these two wicks. So as soon as we started to take out this 660, I just sold my position. I went in the money, $1, $2, and I just immediately sold because obviously my entry was here around this 650 break. And then the first trade was here around that 640. Now I wish I would have held those 640s all the way into the 660. But again, like I said, that's the name of the game, guys. I just wanted to kind of walk you through my Tesla trade and kind of explain to you exactly what I was looking at and why I exactly did what I did. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving me a subscribe. Also, give me a thumbs up on this video and join the Discord. That link is down in the description box below. I'll see you guys on the next one.